Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Diamonds in the Rough podcast, episode 7. Lucky number 7. Well, at least it was lucky for Tom Brady. He won his 7th Super Bowl ring last Sunday. Welcome to the show. Happy Friday, everybody. Hope everybody out there is having a good Friday night. Coming to you live in prime time, Friday Night Fever. Hope everybody. I'm going to go ahead and review the games from the Creating Young Minds Undiscovered League. Week 12 was last week, so I'm going to go ahead and review the games. We have a great show for you tonight. I'm going to be joined by a guest. We got Frankie Cruz Jr. stopping by the show in a little while after I go ahead and do the recap of the games here. Again, I'm your host, Robert Big Shot Rob Strite. All right, let's get into the basketball games from the Creating Young Minds Undiscovered League Week 12 recap. We had 3 games on the slate last week. In game 1, we had the Undiscovered team taking on the Underdogs. The final score in this game was the Undiscovered team 86, the Underdogs 59. For the Undiscovered team, the winners in this game, the player stats, my man, Jared Jetpack J. Henderson, who we had on the show last week. Of the TBL's Louisville Leopards, he had 28 points, 9 rebounds, and 4 steals. Another stellar performance for Jetpack J. Shout out to Jetpack J. Hope everything is going well with you, man. And I know you'll be tuning into the show once it's broadcast. So congrats on another great game. It was great having him on the show last week and getting to know a little bit more about Jetpack J. Other guys that had great games for the Undiscovered team was Shermaine Thomas, a 6'4", 185-pound shooting guard from Partizani, Albania, had 15 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 steals. Also, Lewis Trey Patterson III of the TBL's Louisville Leopards. He finished with 23 points and 6 steals. And Chase Winchester of the University of Nebraska Kearney finished with 7 points, 7 assists, 2 rebounds, and 6 steals. And all of these guys are guys that I mentioned, in my previous show. So I'm sure you guys already know about some of these guys that are playing in the Creating Young Minds Undiscovered League. As for the Underdog team, they lost this game. I'll go over their player stats. Charles Rambo III, a 6'2", 180-pound guard, finished with 22 points and 4 rebounds, while Adnisar Biggie Rabbi, a big man, 7 foot, 216-pound center, playing in the prep school in the CYM Academy, finished with 4 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 blocks. And Darius Tabron, a 6'5", 180-pound shooting guard from West Texas A&M, finished with 15 points. Now, this was the first game of the day, and this was last Saturday. They had games last Saturday because they didn't play on Sunday because of Super Bowl Sunday. So that was the first game of the day. Again, the Undiscovered team versus the Underdogs. The Undiscovered team defeated the Underdog team by double digits, 27-point win, 86-59. So that was game 1 on the slate. Moving on to game 2 on the slate, we had the Creating Young Minds team taking on the Pros. The final score in this game was the Creating Young Minds team 67, the Pros 57. The Creating Young Minds team won this game by double digits, a 10-point victory. For the Creating Young Minds team, Mike Lenore, a 5'11", 165-pound point guard, who was a 2020 NBA draft prospect, and he's also of the TBL's Louisville Leopards. He finished with 19 points, 9 assists, and 4 rebounds. While another guy I've talked about on the show before in the past, and we're looking to try to get him on the show sometime. He was on with Jared Jetpack J. Henderson last time. He was in the background, but we didn't really get a chance to speak to him. Was Balsa Bosovic, also of the TBL's Louisville Leopards. He had a double-double, finishing with 10 points and 17 rebounds. So congrats to Balsa Bosovic on a great game, pouring in a double-double. And also Marcus Brooks, also of the TBL's Louisville Leopards, finished with 11 points and 7 rebounds. So shout out to Marcus Brooks. We've talked a little bit on LinkedIn, and we hope to have Marcus Brooks come on the show sometime and get to know more about his playing career. He also plays, obviously in the Creating Young Minds Undiscovered League, and is a part of the TBL's Louisville Leopards. So shout out to Marcus Brooks. Hopefully, we get you on the show sometime and get a chance to get to know you better and what you like to do as far as other than playing basketball and his entire playing career. Also in this game, Tremaine Thomas, who was in earlier game, finished with 11 points, and Lewis Trey Patterson III, guy I mentioned earlier, finished with 14 points. As for the pros team, who unfortunately lost this game, they were led by Yash Matu, a 6'4", 195-pound combo guard, point guard / shooting guard, who is just 18 years of age. He finished with 20 points. And CJ Carter, who previously played in the NBA for the New York Knicks and also in the NBA's G League for the Texas Legends, finished with 15 points and 5 rebounds, while Dante Smith of the Morocco Super League finished with 6 points and 11 rebounds. So congratulations to all those young men on great games despite a losing effort. And that was the second game of the day. Again, it was the Creating Young Minds team versus the pros. Final score of that game was 67-57. So a 10-point win for the Creating Young Minds team over the pros team. Okay, moving on to the third and final game of the day on the slate. Game 3, we had the Louisville Black versus the Prospects. The final score of this one, it was a close one. The Louisville Black team edged the Prospects team in a nail biter, 56-55. So very competitive game there. 1-point victory for the Louisville Black over the Prospects team. Probably the best game of the day. That game came right down to the end. Very close game. 1-point win for the Black team. So congratulations to them. For the Louisville Black team, Marcus Brooks, who I just mentioned a minute ago, he finished with 17 points and 7 rebounds. While Kevin Booz, a 5'10", 180-pound point guard from Lamar University, finished with 17 points, 4 assists, and 3 rebounds. So congratulations to those 2 young men on great games in the victory. As for the Prospects team, they were led by Abraham Davalos, who finished with 19 points, and Rick Curry, who finished with 8 points and 8 rebounds in the losing cause. But those guys had great games, very competitive, close game. Probably the best game of the day. I'm glad. I guess they saved the best game for last. The third game on the slate was the best game of the day. A 1-point win. Very good game. Looking back at these games for Week 12, for these Week 12 games, there was a scout and an analyst in attendance. Rashad Phillips was in attendance. And Rashad said that there are some guys in the Creating Young Minds Undiscovered League that he thinks can play in the NBA's G League and other professional leagues around the world right now. So congrats. So he was at the game, and he's definitely scouting talent. And I'm glad to see these young men getting recognized by scouts and different analysts out there that are supporting the Creating Young Minds Undiscovered League. And this coming Sunday is Week 13, the final week of the Creating Young Minds Undiscovered League. There'll be games on Sunday, February 14th, which is Valentine's Day. And the games will start at 12 p.m. and end at 4 p.m. So stay tuned for this week, and I'll be reviewing the games next week. It'll be Week 13, the final week of the Creating Young Minds Undiscovered League this coming Sunday, the last week of games. So stay tuned next week for Week 13, the final week of the Creating Young Minds Undiscovered League. I'll go ahead and recap all the games and the player stats from all the games. Looking forward to those games this Sunday. Football season is finally over. So all that's really going on now is basketball season. And we have baseball season coming up in April. But for football, we still have NFL free agency going on. And looking forward to the draft coming up. So I'm getting ready to be joined here soon by Frankie Cruz Jr., who should be coming on, any minute. He told me he's running a little bit late, so he should be on soon. But we'll go ahead and review Super Bowl 55. Super Bowl 55, not much of a game. Wasn't really the game a lot of people were expecting. I know for one, I wasn't expecting that kind of game. I was expecting a closer game, shootout, maybe coming down to the end, maybe coming down to a field goal or Tom Brady touchdown pass or a Patrick Mahomes touchdown pass. It just didn't happen that way. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers went on to win their second Super Bowl, first since 2002, defeating the Kansas City Chiefs 31-9. And I'm just not surprised by how the Bucs won. I'm not surprised that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers won this game. I'm just surprised by how they won this game. I mean, holding a Chiefs offense that had been red hot all year to 9 points and without a touchdown. It's just pretty impressive to me that they were able to do that. They had a great game plan going into this game, 2 weeks to prepare. Todd Bowles, the defensive coordinator for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, had a great scheme. They were able to shut down Tyreek Hill, who pretty much killed them the last time these two teams played in early November, which was a close game. It was 27-24, the final. The Chiefs were able to win that game. But Tyreek Hill went off in the first quarter for 200-some yards and pretty much torched the Bucs' chances of winning that game. And he did do that backflip in the end zone, which I'm sure ticked off a lot of Buccaneers players and their fans when he did that. But the Buccaneers, were able to get their revenge this time around in the game that really mattered, which was the Super Bowl. So again, congratulations to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 2021 Super Bowl champions, and Tom Brady. What else can you say about Tom Brady? Gets his 7th Super Bowl ring. It's debatable on whether he's the GOAT or not. A lot of people would argue he is. A lot of people would argue he's not. Really, when you think of it, it's just a matter of opinion. Everybody looks at football and sports differently. Football is a team sport. I don't think the Buccaneers could have won this game without their defense, the way their defense played. They did a masterful job shutting down the Chiefs and setting up things for Tom Brady to be successful. Tom Brady did have a great game. I mean, he threw for 200 yards, 2 touchdown passes, 2 to Rob Gronkowski, Amherst's finest. Rob Gronkowski caught 2 touchdown passes in this game. Antonio Brown also caught 1, and Leonard Fournette also ran for 1. So all these guys that scored touchdowns for the Buccaneers were guys that were not, on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers team last year. So congratulations to those men. Leonard Fournette gets his first Super Bowl. Antonio Brown gets his first Super Bowl. Gronk gets his 4th. Obviously Brady is 7th, and Bruce Arians, he becomes the oldest head coach in football to win a Super Bowl. And the Buccaneers were, they already had their Super Bowl parade. I got a chance to check it out a little bit. It was pretty funny to me when Tom Brady was on the boat and he threw the Super Bowl trophy, the Lombardi Trophy, across to the other players on the other boat. So that was pretty funny to watch. I know the Bucs were having a good time celebrating their Super Bowl win. And congratulations to the city of Tampa. They hosted the Super Bowl and were able to win the Super Bowl in their hometown. And those Bucs fans will be partying for a long time, probably all the way up until next season. We'll see if they can get back to the Super Bowl next year and possibly repeat. It's very hard to do in football, but we'll see what happens. If the Bucs are able to re-sign some of their players, they should have a very good chance of being able to get back to the Super Bowl next year and having a chance to possibly repeat. Next year is Super Bowl 56. It'll be in Los Angeles, the Rams and Chargers Stadium, SoFi Stadium. So definitely looking forward to that next year. Hopefully things will be better with the pandemic, and we'll get fans back in the stadiums for all the games, and they'll be able to have the Super Bowl at full capacity. But in other news today, big news today, I should say, J.J. Watt, defensive end J.J. Watt, 3-time Defensive Player of the Year award. 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, 5-time First Team All-Pro, 5-time Pro Bowler, was released today by the Houston Texans. after 10 seasons. And he announced this today earlier on his Twitter page. He went on Twitter and did a video and announced that he and the team mutually agreed to part ways. So J.J. Watt is now a free agent on the market. He was released today by the Houston Texans, and there's several teams I heard out there that are interested, in his services. We'll see where he ends up next year. Some of the teams that I read about that I saw that would be interested in J.J. Watt's services are the Pittsburgh Steelers, a team which his brother plays for, T.J. Watt. The Green Bay Packers are another team. As you know, J.J. Watt is from Wisconsin. He played college football at the University of Wisconsin, so him possibly going back to Wisconsin to play for the Green Bay Packers, another possibility. Also the Seattle Seahawks are another team. Another team is the Dallas Cowboys, and I believe another team that is interested in T.J. Watt is the New England Patriots. And speaking of the Patriots, the guy I have coming on the show soon, Frankie Cruz Jr., is a big Patriots fan, so I'm definitely interested and anxious to get his thoughts on what he thinks of J.J. Watt getting released today by the Texans and where he thinks he might end up next season. It'll definitely be interesting to see what happens with that. And, there's a lot of other NFL news, free agency and trade talk going around. There's been news going on with Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson is unhappy in Seattle. He's unhappy with how the team is moving in the direction they're moving in. I guess with the offensive line. So Seattle, so Russell Wilson, stated publicly he wants possibly to get out of Seattle. The Seahawks did get mad about this. He made some public comments on radio saying, he wants out of Seattle possibly. That remains to be seen. It'll be interesting to see, what happens with Russell Wilson in the offseason if the Seahawks trade him or try to make a move for him or move him somewhere else. I mean, that'll be interesting to see. For me personally, it'll be hard to see Russell Wilson in any other uniform but a Seattle Seahawks uniform. But I mean, it's possible if he's unhappy there and things don't work out, I wouldn't be surprised to see him land with another team. I know Nick Wright. I was watching The Herd today. Nick Wright was hosting The Herd. Nick Wright did a little blockbuster trade where he said Russell Wilson would end up with the New York Jets. He did like a little 3-team trade between the Houston Texans, New York Jets, and San Francisco 49ers, where the Jets would receive Sam Darnold and 3 first-round picks. The 49ers would receive Deshaun Watson. The Jets would get Russell Wilson, and the Seattle Seahawks would get Jimmy Garoppolo, 2 first-round picks, and Nick Bosa. So that was just a little blockbuster trade Nick Wright did on The Herd today. I don't know if that trade is going to happen or not. I mean, we'll see. I mean, it would be pretty interesting if that trade did happen. That would definitely shake things up. That's not a trade people are expecting. But hey, this is the NFL. Anything's possible, and we'll see. We'll see what happens in the coming weeks and days. If there's any trades, Carson Wentz is another guy that's been mentioned in trade talks. He wants out of Philadelphia. We'll see if we'll see if the Eagles in fact do trade him. I heard the Colts are one landing spot where he might end up. But I mean, we'll see what happens. We have the draft coming up, free agency's coming up. You already had one big trade. We had Matt Stafford and Jared Goff get traded. Matt Stafford got traded to the Los Angeles Rams in exchange for Jared Goff. Jared Goff, they traded Matt Stafford and Jared Goff. The Lions get 2 first-round picks and I believe a second-round pick and Jared Goff in exchange for Matthew Stafford. So Matthew Stafford will be playing with the Rams next year. He'll have that great Rams defense and new weapons in Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp. And the Super Bowl, obviously next year is in LA. And we'll see how the Rams do next year. They'll definitely be one of the favorites in the NFC to possibly get to the Super Bowl. We'll see what happens. But yeah, Matthew Stafford he's been to the playoffs before. 32-year-old quarterback. He doesn't have any playoff wins. Now's his big chance to really prove what he's got. He wasn't really able to do much in Detroit. He was on a lot of bad teams with the Lions. But, I guess Sean McVay and the Rams feel he's their guy to be able to hopefully get him back to the Super Bowl. The Rams were in the Super Bowl a couple of years ago where they lost to the New England Patriots 13-3. But I guess the Rams feel that Matthew Stafford is their guy to hopefully get him back to the Super Bowl and hopefully have a chance to win the Super Bowl. But that remains to be seen. But we'll see what happens. And, Jared Goff going to Detroit. Jared Goff's a guy that I think can win you some games. I like what the Lions did in the offseason by signing former Dolphins tight end coach Dan Campbell. And they also got the former Chargers coach. I'm trying to think of his name right now. I just can't think of it. But yeah, Anthony Miller. They got the former Chargers coach as their offensive coordinator. So the Detroit Lions should definitely be an interesting team. Moving forward, we'll see how they do next year with Jared Goff as the quarterback, and we'll see what kind of weapons and personnel they surround Jared Goff with next season. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that. It's 9:21 right now. Hopefully we get Frankie Cruz Jr. here within the next few minutes or so, maybe by 9:30, and we'll be able to talk to Frankie about Super Bowl 55 and get his thoughts on any NFL moves and J.J. Watt being released today by the Houston Texans. And football season is over now. There was no Pro Bowl this year. They had the NFL Honors Awards. That was pretty much virtual. Aaron Rodgers won MVP. Trying to think of some other awards that were given, but yeah, that was virtual this year. So now we're heading into NFL free agency, the draft, and whatever trades are going on. Seems like NFL season is definitely a full season right now. The season's over, so pretty much it's just basketball and baseball until the draft starts, and if there's any other free agency moves or trades. There's some good basketball games on tonight. We got the New Orleans Pelicans taking on the Dallas Mavericks right now on ESPN. I was watching a little bit of that game, before I came on the air. And later tonight at 10 o'clock, we have LeBron James and the defending champion Los Angeles Lakers taking on the Memphis Grizzlies. So that should be a good game. We'll see if Anthony Davis is able to come back and play for the Lakers. I believe he's missed the last couple games. And, what can I say about LeBron James, what he's doing at age 36? This guy hasn't missed a beat, looking like he's having an MVP season, looking like he could win MVP again this year. And let me tell you something about LeBron. He's in year 18 right now. He's set to become a billionaire while still playing basketball. Forbes mentioned LeBron's set to become a billionaire sometime this year in career earnings. So, congratulations to LeBron James, everything he's done on and off the court for the game of basketball and for social injustice and helping kids and, all his endorsement deals and, everything like that. LeBron James set to become only the fifth player to become a billionaire while still being able to play the game of basketball in the NBA at the highest level. So that definitely congrats to LeBron. The guy just doesn't seem human sometimes. He doesn't miss any games. When I go on DraftKings to put in my fantasy lineups every night, I see him on there. He's always questionable, and I'm like, LeBron's gonna play. He doesn't miss a game. This guy's almost like not human. He never misses a game, and if he does miss a game, it has to be a pretty good reason for him to miss a game. So it's amazing to see what LeBron's doing in year 18 at the age of 36. Spends over $1 million a year on his body, and the guy just doesn't miss a beat. And I'm sure he watched the Super Bowl, and I'm sure he watched Tom Brady win a 7th Super Bowl ring, and he saw what Tom Brady did at the age of 43, and I'm sure that's motivating LeBron this year to try to go out there and win another ring and help the Lakers win back-to-back titles and win their 18th title in franchise history and become the franchise in the NBA with the most titles in history. Right now, they're tied, with the Boston Celtics. Them and the Boston Celtics, have are tied with the most NBA titles at 17 apiece. So, if the Lakers were to go back to back this year and win another title, they would leapfrog the Boston Celtics for the most titles in NBA history with 18. Right now, they both have 17. So, yeah, we'll see what happens with that. As many as I'm a big Miami Heat fan. I like the way my Miami Heat have been playing of late. They've won 4 in a row. They had a big win last night on TNT against the Houston Rockets. In Houston, they were able to win that game. Jimmy Butler had a good game. Bam Adebayo. The other guy, Strus, forgot his name, Dan Strus, had a big game, career night. I think he scored like 19 points, was hitting 3-pointers all over the place. So it seems the Miami Heat are starting to get on a little bit of a roll here. They got a big West Coast trip coming up. They already won the first game of their West Coast trip last night in Houston. Tomorrow night they're playing the red hot Utah Jazz, who I think have the best record in the NBA. They've been probably the hottest team in the league. So that's going to be a tough game tomorrow night in Utah for the Heat. The Heat have a very big 7-game road trip coming up. So if the Heat can find a way to do well on this road trip, it would definitely help them get back into the playoff race in the Eastern Conference. The Heat right now are 11-14. A lot of guys have been missing games due to COVID protocol and stuff like that. Jimmy Butler has been missing games. They've had Avery Bradley out. Tyler Hero's missing games. I know Myers Leonard is out for the year. Mo Harkless has been missing games. So, I think the Heat just really have to just get healthy. Once the Heat get healthy, I think they'll be able to get their groove back and start winning some games and, get back in this Eastern Conference playoff race and, hopefully be a top seed. But this big West Coast road trip that the Heat are on now, the 7-game trip, a lot of tough teams the Heat are facing. They got the Jazz, the Lakers, I believe the Clippers. I believe it's their longest road trip in a while. So this road trip coming up for the Heat is huge, chemistry-wise. And if they can win some of these games and finish this road trip 500 or above, it would be big for the team for chemistry and get their confidence back up moving forward in the season. The Heat, did very well last year. Making it to the NBA Finals, nobody expected that. In the bubble, they got to the finals and were defeated by the Los Angeles Lakers in a pretty competitive series. That series went 6 games. As many Bam Adebayo and Goran Dragic got hurt in that series. Maybe if those guys would have stayed healthy and not missed any games in that series, and maybe it might have been a different series. But the Los Angeles Lakers are just a very talented team, and obviously they're led by the best player in the world, and LeBron James. And they're just a very good team, and any team led by LeBron is going to be a tough team to beat. And then you add Anthony Davis to that team, and all the pieces they have. They're just a totally loaded team, and they pretty much have everybody back this year. For the most part. I mean, they lost some guys. Dwight Howard, JaVale McGee, Danny Green. Dwight Howard and Danny Green went to the Philadelphia 76ers. JaVale McGee's is on the Cavaliers. The Lakers added Dennis Schroeder. They got Wesley Matthews. They got Montrezl Harrell from the Clippers, so he didn't have to go far, just change locker rooms going from the Clippers to the Lakers. So that was a big signing. They got Alex Caruso back. So yeah, the Lakers are loaded. They're gonna be right there, and they're still the defending champs until somebody knocks them off. But the West should be very interesting this year, and obviously the Eastern Conference. The Brooklyn Nets are one team definitely to watch out for with the big three that they've put together with Kevin Durant, James Harden, and Kyrie Irving. I believe the Nets are playing tomorrow night, Saturday night primetime game on ABC, 8:30. The Nets are taking on the Golden State Warriors. So Kevin Durant making his return to Oakland and Golden State to play against his former teammate Steph Curry. So that should definitely be an interesting game tomorrow night out there in Oakland at the they're not playing in Oakland anymore. They're playing in San Francisco. They're at that new arena in San Francisco, Chase Center. So yeah, Kevin Durant returning to Golden State to play against his former team and former pal, Steph Curry. The Nets visit the Warriors tomorrow night, primetime game, ABC. So that should be a very interesting game. Also, Heat Jazz tomorrow night. That'll be a good one as well. So, yeah, a lot to look forward to. Glad we got the NBA going on right now. And we'll see. The NBA was talking about possibly, having an all-star game in March. They're trying to put that together. That remains to be seen. If that does happen, if the all-star game, does happen, it will be in Atlanta. But they're still working out the kinks on, doing that. But we'll see what happens. I'd love for the NBA to be able to do All-Star Weekend and have an All-Star game. But if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But hopefully it does. We'll see. We'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens with that. But yeah. So yeah, we're waiting. Frankie Cruz Jr. here. Hopefully he'll be coming on any minute. He just told me. He was having dinner with his family, and his family just left. So I guess he's getting ready, set up. Hopefully we'll be joined by him soon, and we'll get to talk Super Bowl and NFL moves and anything else going on in the wide world of sports. Again, Friday night primetime edition, Friday Night Fever. I'm your host, Robert Big Shot Rob Strite. Hope everybody out there is having a good Friday night. And looking forward to the weekend. I know it's a Valentine's Day weekend. Valentine's Day is on Sunday. I know things will probably be a little bit different this year, being that we are in a pandemic. So shout out to all the lovers out there. If you got big plans for Valentine's Day, or if you're looking for love, good luck finding it. I know it's been tough so far this year. All right, we're joined now. I'm going to bring him in right now by my man, Frankie Cruz Jr. Let's go ahead and bring him on. He's about to join the show. I'm going to bring him onto the stream. Frankie, my man, what's going on, man?
Hey, what's going on, Robert? How you doing?
Doing all right, man. Doing all right. Well, yeah, let's get right into things, man. Obviously, I came on your show earlier this week. We did a little bit of Super Bowl 55 review talk. We went over the game, gave our thoughts on the game. We all know you're a big New England Patriots fan. You always got your hat on. I don't know what NBA jersey you're wearing. I'm assuming you're wearing a Lakers jersey, right? Yeah, you got your Lakers jersey on. All right. That's what's up, man. Oh, rocking the Kobe, yeah. Rest in peace, Kobe Bryant.
Got the number 24 on the back.
Oh, that's what's up, man. Yeah. I actually got a Kobe Bryant jersey. I was able to get one offline. I got his high school jersey from Lower Merion. So sometimes awesome. I like to rock that one. Yeah, Kobe Bryant, as many of you know, from Philadelphia, went to Lower Merion High School, wore number 33 in high school, then came to the NBA, wore number 8 with the Los Angeles Lakers, and number 24 got both numbers retired. And rest in peace to Kobe Bryant. And Frank, your Lakers are playing later tonight. They got a big game against the Memphis Grizzlies. That should be a good game. That's coming on tonight, probably in about 30 minutes or so. So I'm sure if you're going to watch ESPN tonight, you'll be able to check out that game. Right now, we got the New Orleans Pelicans, taking on the Dallas Mavericks. That game's on ESPN right now. My Heat are off tonight. They played last night. They got a big win on the road in Houston, beating the Houston Rockets. Tomorrow night, they got a very tough game in Utah, taking on the Jazz, a very hot team right now. So the Heat are on this big West Coast trip. So hopefully the Heat can win some of these games on this West Coast trip and turn the season around and get back into the playoff race in the Eastern Conference. But let's go ahead and review Super Bowl 55. Your old quarterback, Tom Brady, gets his 7th ring. This is episode number 7 of my show, lucky number 7, episode 7 of my show, Diamonds in the Rough podcast. Tom Brady gets his 7th ring. What are your thoughts on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Tom Brady winning the Super Bowl this year?
It's amazing, man. It's amazing for Tom Brady, especially at the level he's playing. at the age where he's at as well. It looks like he's still playing at a phenomenal level. He still looks like the rookie quarterback that he was when he came in. And for him to get number 7 is something special, and to go into it's even more special to get to your 10th Super Bowl. It's really hard to make it to a Super Bowl, and for him to go to number 10 and win number 7, it's an amazing feeling. I can't express how happy he is and how grateful he is. And how about that literally boat parade that Tampa Bay had, man? The way that Tom Brady was celebrating, I've never seen him celebrate like that before with the New England Patriots. He's over there throwing the Lombardi Trophy from boat to boat, and at the end of the video that I seen, he was a little wasted there off of some tequilas, but it was great, man. Some people are going to say that it wasn't a good Super Bowl just because of how, Kansas City played, and it should have been a better offense. And people are saying there's too many flags. But if you're a Tampa Bay fan, obviously, you're going to love this win. You'll take it. But me being a Patriot fan and loving Tom Brady, and, spending 20 years of watching Tom Brady, I kind of like this Super Bowl. He deserved it. He went on to another team after having success for 20 years on one organization and winning 6 Super Bowls. And, he goes on to another team, not only take him to the playoffs, but, he entered the playoff in a wild card round, going to 3 road games in order for him to even have a home game in the biggest game of them all. So, he's just an elite quarterback, and nobody's ever going to be, as elite as Tom Brady. We're never going to see another great Tom Brady. We're never ever going to see somebody as great as Tom Brady. So I'm in the moment right now where I'm living, and, and we can't expect anything more great in the game of football than what Tom Brady is bringing. Yeah, some people say he's a cheater and stuff. He's not to me, he's not no cheater. To me, he's just a person that takes in all the hate and takes it out on the field and shows all those haters wrong. And Tom Brady, like I said, at the age that he's at and playing at the level that he's playing in, he's most definitely going to be playing football till he's at least 45 or even longer.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I mean, a lot of people hate Tom Brady, but you got to respect the man. I mean, he's a winner. He motivates his teammates. Obviously, football is a team sport. The Buccaneers couldn't have won the Super Bowl without that defense and the job that they did in that game. But Tom Brady is a winner. I mean, the guy knows how to win. His first year, he goes to Tampa Bay and they win the Super Bowl. I mean, I don't know how many people were expecting that. I mean, everybody knew the caliber of this team and the weapons they had and all the pieces they had around it. But to be able to build that chemistry and motivate those guys is just something special, especially in the first year. I mean, this kind of reminds me similar to when LeBron and the Big Three, came down to Miami. The Heat that year went to the finals, and they lost to the Dallas Mavericks in 6 games in 2011, and that was a great finals. And the Heat definitely could have won that finals, but they LeBron just wasn't himself in that series. Like he was only at like 60, 70%. And, if LeBron had just played better, he would have won that series. But they did get to the finals that year. But, that finals loss definitely motivated LeBron. He learned from it. And then he came back the next year, and they totally destroyed the Oklahoma City Thunder, beat them 4-1 on a team that had, Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook and also James Harden. But James Harden was still a 6th man. But for Tom Brady in his first year with his team to get them to the Super Bowl and to win the Super Bowl is just amazing, because I mean, I don't know if the NFC was loaded. I mean, you had the Green Bay Packers. I mean, the Green Bay Packers looked like the best team in the conference all year, and Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, had home field. They had the NFC Championship at home against Tom Brady and the Bucs, and they weren't able to get it done. Another team that people thought might make it was the Seattle Seahawks with Russell Wilson early in the year. They looked very good. Russell Wilson was playing on an MVP level. Then towards the end of the year, he started fizzing out a little bit. That defense did start to play better. But you got to give credit to the Bucs. and they definitely had a good time at that celebration. I know Bruce Arians. I saw his little 10-minute or 10-second speech that he gave, and I did like when Tom Brady, threw the ball on the boat. I mean, not the ball, excuse me, the Lombardi Trophy on the thing, and the guy caught it. That was a little bit dangerous, man. What if that would have fell in the water or something? But yeah, Tom Brady was a little bit drunk. We don't see Tom Brady get drunk too often. The guy is pretty healthy. He's got like pretty good habits during the year. I think he goes to bed at 9 o'clock every night, and he doesn't drink at all, and he has a pretty strict diet, drinking eating like avocado ice cream and stuff and shakes and stuff like that, so it was good to see Tom Brady, get loose a little bit. He's always a pretty serious guy. We all know Gronk is a party animal, and he does his thing, but it was good to see Tom Brady get a little bit loose and have fun down there in Tampa. And congratulations to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on winning their second Super Bowl in franchise history. They last won the Super Bowl in 2002, and I know one guy that's a Bucs fan, and I'm gonna try to get him on my show sometime. He's down in Miami, George Amita. Shout out to George Amita. He's a big Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan. I believe when I was down in Miami, he used to tell me he used to go drive up to all their games in Tampa. So I'm sure he was happy and celebrating pretty hard that the Bucs, were able to win that Super Bowl, and it was just it was a great thing to see. I mean, it wasn't the game a lot of people were expecting, but you got to give credit where credit is due, and the Bucs were definitely prepared for that game, and they deserved it.
Yeah, man, the Bucs really deserved it. And to your man's over there, that's a Tampa Bay Buccaneer fan. I hope he's watching, so that way I could just tell him you're welcome and congratulations. Because if it wasn't for us not re-signing Brady or giving away Rob Gronkowski, you guys, it would have probably been a whole different season for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But in my theory, I think any above average quarterback could have done what Tom Brady have done, just because the weapons that they got. Tom Brady did add in more weapons while he got there. Adding in Leonard Fournette and bringing in Shady McCoy and Rob Gronkowski and Antonio Brown. He brought in some more help to help solidify the Buccaneers as a Super Bowl contender team. We all knew that the Buccaneers are going to make it to the Super Bowl in the beginning of the year just because of who they had and everything like that. Even last year when they made it to the playoffs, well, I'm sorry, they didn't make it to the playoffs last year, but they did have a decent season. They could have had a better one without Jameis Winston. And they still had the defense, they still had the offensive weapons, but they needed that one quarterback, and that's what they got in Tom Brady. But like I said, I could have seen this happen with any other quarterback. If you give who should I say? Even Kirk Cousins. If Kirk Cousins wasn't with the Minnesota Vikings and they signed him to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I have a feeling that Kirk Cousins could have taken them to the Super Bowl as well. Just because of the offense, but definitely. Adding Tom Brady helped and solidified that Super Bowl win. If Kirk Cousins was the Buccaneers quarterback, they would have made it, but I wouldn't see them winning it. But Tom Brady literally solidified that win as soon as he signed with the Buccaneers. I'm pretty sure the whole world knew that the Buccaneers are going to go to the Super Bowl. The whole world knew that the Chiefs are going to end up defending their titles because let's be real here. It's the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes. They didn't lose any offensive weapons through the offseason after winning the Super Bowl. They added more to it. So we all knew that they were going to go back to representing these AFC for the Super Bowl. And when Tom Brady went over to the Buccaneers, we all knew that the Buccaneers are going to make it until we seen how the Green Bay Packers were looking. So it was a great Super Bowl in my opinion. I like this Super Bowl. I would have loved to see a different offensive side of the ball for the Kansas City Chiefs to just make it a high scoring or tight close game. But if I was a Buccaneers fan, I'll shrug it off and be like, hey man, a win is a win. We got the win. We got the Lombardi Trophy. We got number 2. Let's move on to next year.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the Super Bowl really showed me that defense still wins championships. I mean, Tampa Bay Buccaneers holding the Kansas City Chiefs high-powered offense to 9 points and without a touchdown. I mean, it wasn't the shootout we were expecting. A lot of us were expecting, a high-scoring game. I know I picked the Bucs to win. It was the score I predicted was 41-34. I was predicting a high scoring game, maybe coming down to the last drive, or maybe coming down to a field goal or something like that. It definitely wasn't the game. You know, a lot of people were expecting. I don't know. A lot of people they picked the score 31-9 and expected the Bucs to win by that many points, but it happens. And the Bucs had 2 weeks to prepare. They definitely watched the film and installed a great game plan. They learned from the mistakes they made the first time those two teams played early in the year, which was a close game. That game was 27-24. The Chiefs won that game, and the Chiefs got out to a big lead in that game. And Tyreek Hill was just totally torching them. He had like 200 some yards in the first quarter, 200 yards receiving in the first quarter. I was playing him in fantasy last week, so he killed my playoff hopes. I think what made the Bucs mad was seeing Tyreek Hill do that backflip into the end zone. I think that definitely pissed a lot of guys off. I know it pissed Antonio Winfield off. He got his little revenge at the end of that game in the Super Bowl, doing a little peace sign. And Tyreek Hill was definitely mad, and those guys went at it. And Tom Brady and Tyrann Mathieu, Honey Badger, have been having their little thing going on with each other. It remains to be seen if those guys really hate each other. They were just like talking trash to each other, but they didn't want to play like all the audio clips between those guys. And they said they were like talking trash. I really think that was just like in the heat of the moment. And those guys are two competitors. Tom Brady's a competitor. Tyrann Mathieu for the Chiefs is one of their leaders on defense. And it was just the heat of the moment. Things happen, and I'm sure those guys will hopefully make up. Obviously, the Bucs don't play the Chiefs next year, but it's possible that they can meet in the Super Bowl again next year. But we'll see what happens. But yeah, I agree with you that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers do need to thank the New England Patriots for getting some of your former guys, Rob Gronkowski and Tom Brady, and they're going to play each other next year. Tom Brady makes his long-awaited return back to Foxborough, New England, and Frankie, I know you're trying to go to that game, as are many other Patriots fans, and I don't know how many Bucs fans are going to go up there as well, but I'm sure there'll probably be some. But that should be
we don't got room for them.
Yeah, we don't have room for them.
We don't have room for them. It's too many Patriots. Too many Patriot fans are going to take over the seats. I'm pretty sure, and it's going to be a packed. It's going to be a packed stadium. And I know that those tickets are going to go high, and you know what? I'm not even going to care. I'm not going to care. I'm going to go in the bank just to get to this game. I'm going to do everything I can to see Tom Brady come home, and I'm going to do everything I can to help Tom Brady lose that game.
I hear you, man. Yeah. I went to Boston a couple of years ago. I didn't get a chance to take a tour and go to Foxborough to check out Gillette Stadium because it was maybe 15 or 30 miles away from Boston. I got to take a tour of Boston. I went by the TD Garden and I saw Fenway Park, and I actually went to a Red Sox game, saw the Red Sox play the White Sox, but I didn't get the honor and the privilege to go check out Gillette Stadium. But I'd be pretty scared to go there as a visiting fan. I mean, I'm living in Buffalo now. And as a Dolphins fan, I'd be pretty scared to maybe go to the Bills game and see the Dolphins play the Bills because I know how Bills Mafia is, and they might give me a hard time. Yeah. So, I'd be pretty scared to go.
Yeah, if I was you, I'd be
keep it low key.
I'd be more scared to go to a Buffalo Bill fan than a New England Patriot game. Us Patriot fans, we're not like those Bill fans. We don't talk that we talk crap. But we're not like the Buffalo Bill fans. No disrespect to Bills Mafias and stuff like that. You guys are diehard fans, and you guys have proved it through all the years of being so garbage and trash. You guys are true loyal fans to stick behind your team every Sunday, every practice and everything like that. You guys are true loyal fans. So no disrespect to any of you guys. But us Patriot fans, we're nothing like you guys. We love the sport. We love our team. If if we see a Miami Dolphin fan next to us, we're going to talk trash to you guys. We're going to tell you guys, oh yeah, how do you like that? Stuff like that. But we're not going to be in a situation where you should get, oh, am I going to end up having a fight with this fan or something like that? We're not like that. So that's something that you do have to worry about in Buffalo. Trust me.
Yeah, definitely. I had the privilege last year to work security for the Patriots Dolphins game, and that was Antonio Brown's one and only game that he played with the Patriots. And man, that it was like all Patriots fans there. I know how Patriots fans travel. That it was a crazy atmosphere. Probably like 80% Patriots fans and like 20% Dolphins fans. I don't know what the ratio was, but it was crazy to be around all those Patriots fans and be on the field and seeing Julian Edelman and Antonio Brown and Brady. All those guys was just a hell of an experience to be able to work that game and be on the field. And you guys beat us pretty good that time last year when I think it was like 43-0 or something. and usually the Patriots, when they go down to Miami, they usually don't fare so well because that Miami Heat.
Yeah, we normally lose.
But they definitely played well last year when they went down there with Tom Brady and Antonio Brown and kicked our butts.
I'm
pretty good.
I'm sure you guys got the last laugh on that one that year. You guys ended up coming back and winning at the end of the year. You guys knocked us out from the 2nd seed to the 3rd seed, where we had to play in the wild card round. And it helped in your favor because we got knocked out of the playoffs in the very first round by the Tennessee Titans. So,
yep, I remember that, and that's crazy to think that was Tom Brady's last game in a Patriots uniform. A lot of people,
and his last throw as a Patriot was a pick six, and that'll always go down as his last throw as a Patriot as a pick six to Ryan Logan of the Tennessee Titans, who is now a cornerback for the New York Giants.
Yeah, that's crazy to think. Hard to believe. Yep. But moving on, we had some big NFL news today. I actually wrote an article about this on the East West Football Network. 3-time NFL Defensive Player of the Year, Houston Texans defensive end J.J. Watt, released today by the Houston Texans after 10 seasons. He went on his Twitter page and did a live video saying he and the team mutually agreed to part ways. So J.J. Watt, 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, 5-time Pro Bowler, 5-time first-team All-Pro, 2017 Walter Payton Man of the Year award recipient, and also Sports Illustrated Sportsman of the Year recipient, is now a free agent and free to sign with whatever team he wants. I've heard there's a few teams that are interested in him. One team is the Pittsburgh Steelers, who his brother plays for, T.J. Watt. Another team is the Seattle Seahawks. Another team is the Green Bay Packers. He's actually from Wisconsin. He went to the University of Wisconsin. He's a Badger, so I could definitely see him going back to Green Bay or going back to Wisconsin and playing for the Packers. The Dallas Cowboys were another team. I don't think that's going to happen. I think he wants out of Texas, but I mean, who knows? And the other team, the final team that I heard about that J.J. Watt could go to is your New England Patriots. I want to get your thoughts on J.J. Watt being released today by the Houston Texans. And what do you think he'll end up next year? Do you think he could possibly be a New England Patriot? What do you think of him being released? What do you think of what the Houston Texans did? What do you think of the Houston Texans moving forward? I just want to get your thoughts on all this.
Alrighty. No, I'm not trying to be rude or nothing, but after I talk about this, I have to go. I got my kids upstairs going crazy right now. I can hear them. But my theory with the Houston Texans is, it was a great agreement on both parties to mutually part ways. I did read it a while back that this was going to happen. I didn't expect it to happen this quick. I expected them to do something where they'll trade JJ Watt to another team to get like a draft pick or something like that. I didn't expect them to just let him go. But it's great for JJ Watt. He's been the face of the franchise for 10 years, and he's done great things, changing his name from JJ Watt to JJ SWAT. He done many things for the Texans organization, and he's a player where he should have won a Super Bowl, and I think this is a great step for him. I would love to see him come to the New England Patriots. We need him on the defensive end, but my theory is I think he's going to end up with the Green Bay Packers. If not, he's probably going to end up playing with his brother in the Pittsburgh Steelers, because you got both TJ and Derek over there.
Mm-hmm.
But for Houston, man, this is a real big blow, man. You lose DeAndre Hopkins. You got trade talks with Deshaun Watson and now JJ Watt, and it's a big big mess over there in Houston, and it's not just for the sport of football. You also got basketball, where they lost James Harden and Russell Westbrook, and you also got baseball, where they lost that big name guy. I forgot his name.
George Springer. George Springer signed with the Toronto Blue Jays. So
yeah. So it's a big mess over there in Houston right now, and if I was Houston, I wouldn't be mad. It's called a fresh start for a reason, and you want to start off fresh. JJ Watt has been going through injuries for the past about 4, maybe 5 years now, and it's great on both parts, man. You can't get mad at the Houston Texans for moving on from somebody who's done so many things for their organization and was the face of their franchise, and you can't get mad at JJ Watt for moving on and wanting to actually, be a championship contender team. So it's great on both parts, man.
Yeah, definitely, I agree. Yeah, Houston definitely has a whole lot of problems. It's not just one problem. They got a whole lot of problems going on in Houston with all their sports teams there, and I just hope they're able to get it together. This is a franchise a couple of years ago. They had the Rockets in the playoffs every year, trying to get to the finals. The Houston Astros won the World Series. The Houston Texans were in the playoffs every year, winning some playoff games, and now all their teams are kind of falling apart. But yeah, we'll see what happens with Houston. JJ Watt, just the latest to be released. Now we'll have to see what happens with Deshaun Watson, where he ends up. I was watching The Herd earlier today. Nick Wright was on the show hosting for Colin Cowherd, who unfortunately has been out the whole week. I want to wish Colin Cowherd. Colin Cowherd was out the whole week. He got a blood clot in his lung, had to be rushed to the hospital. So I want to. Colin Cowherd is now feeling better. Hopefully he'll be back next week. I want to say get well soon. I'm a big fan of the show, The Herd. So hopefully Colin will be back next week. But Nick Wright did a little blockbuster trade today where the 49ers would receive Deshaun Watson. The Jets would receive Russell Wilson. Yeah, Texans would get Sam Darnold and a couple first-round picks. He did a little blockbuster trade, which was kind of funny. So that'd be interesting to see if that was that were to happen. But yeah, we'll see what happens now with Deshaun Watson moving forward. It seems like he's the last man standing in Houston. He stated this year he wants to be traded. Otherwise, he's going to hold out this year and not play. So hopefully the Texans will give him his wish and trade him to where he wants to be traded. Whether he ends up in San Francisco or in a Jets uniform or maybe a Dolphins uniform, it remains to be seen. But we'll see what happens with that. Frankie, I'm going to go ahead and let you get going here, man. I know you got your kids with you, but before I let you go, I know you got a big show coming up tomorrow with Roberto Duran Jr. You want to tell your viewers and anybody out there to check out your show, what you got coming up? You're with the Northeast,
man, I got a big show coming on tomorrow at 5:30, 5 p.m., 5:30 Eastern time. I'll be hosted with Big Shaw from Big Shaw Sports Podcast. We'll be having special guest Robert Duran Jr., future welterweight champion. He is the son of legendary Hall of Famer, lightweight, heavyweight champion Roberto Duran. Is going to be a huge show. You can catch me on Frankie C Sports on Facebook or Northeast Streaming Sports. Also Frankie C Sports or Northeast Streaming Sports on YouTube. And if you guys do miss it, you guys can hear us on Spotify and Pandora. And I just got the big news that we have been accepted to iHeartRadio, so we'll be on all three. If you guys have missed it, it's going to be a big show. And I wouldn't want to miss it. If you guys want to learn anything or know anything about Robert Duran Jr., the son of Roberto Duran, I suggest you guys tune into Northeast Streaming Sports tomorrow at 5 to 5:30 p.m. Eastern time.
Yeah, definitely. All the boxing fans out there, make sure you check out Frankie's show tomorrow and definitely support Frankie Cruz Jr. moving forward. I see you got your kid with you. I'm going to go ahead and let you go. Frankie, man, if I don't talk to you, you have a good rest of your night. Happy Valentine's Day weekend. I know Valentine's Day is on Sunday, so hopefully you have a good weekend with your wife and kids, and hopefully everybody out there also has a good Valentine's Day weekend. And definitely, man, we'll be in touch, man. I look forward to the show tomorrow. I'll definitely try to check it out, and we'll definitely have you on again sometime, man. And good luck to your Lakers.
Awesome. Awesome, man. Thank you. I'll be watching. Yeah, man. I'm gonna stay up to date with your podcast. It's amazing, brother. Thank you for inviting me. It's a great show, and I can't wait to join up again, brother. Thank you.
Definitely, man. Thanks for coming on. Frankie Cruz Jr., everybody. Big time Patriots fan, big Lakers fan. We'll definitely have Frankie on the show. Frankie, have a good night. All right. We'll see. We'll talk to you soon. Be in touch, brother. All right. Peace.
Alrighty, man. Later.
All right. Later, man. Everybody, that was Frankie Cruz Jr. Gonna go ahead and wrap up the show here. I want to thank Frankie again for coming on. I want to thank everybody out there for tuning in to the show tonight, episode 7 of the Diamonds in the Rough podcast. Episode 7, yeah, lucky number 7. Well, I should say it's lucky for Tom Brady because again, he won his 7th Super Bowl ring. Shout out to the everybody out there in the Creating Young Minds Undiscovered League, all the players. Shout out to Dr. Shira Ackerman, Mathis Crowder for giving me this opportunity. All the players, everybody out there, everybody watching me. Make sure you subscribe to my channel and tune in for episode 8 next week. I will go ahead and be reviewing week 13, the final week of the Creating Young Minds Undiscovered League. Hopefully, I'll be able to get another guest on, maybe a player or somebody else. So we'll see. Creating Young Minds Undiscovered League does have games this Sunday, Valentine's Day, from noon to 4 p.m. It's the final week of the season, but I'll be reviewing the games and the player stats next week. But that's all the time I have for everybody tonight. Hope everybody out there has a good Friday night and a good weekend. And happy Valentine's Day to all the lovers out there. Take care. And I will talk to you guys next time. Signing off. I'm your host, Robert Big Shot Rob Strite. Take care, everyone. Good night.